Hello everyone, my name is Fatma Hasib. I am a nursery practitioner who works with SEN children. I am based in London and I have a qualification in autism and counseling skills. My topic for today is understanding speech, language and communication in individuals with autism. Whilst discussing about this topic, I will be giving you examples from my own practice and later I will discuss the strategies that could be used to support communication and language. Every individual on the spectrum is different. Some may not be able to use speech and language, some may have very limited speaking skills, others, while possessing rich vocabulary and the ability to discuss about specific topics in detail, may say things that are completely out of the context. Often parents report that their child does not respond to their questions and tends to ignore or at times get agitated if asked the same question over and over again. So my friends, won't you get irritated if you are asked a question over and over again to which you don't know the answer? If children do not know the answer, they might just ignore it. What they need is a bit of hand-holding. When you ask your child a question, help them respond appropriately, initially, until they learn to do it independently. Let me quote you an example here of one of my students. Sam's father mentioned that they went to the beach on weekend. So I asked Sam, who is 4 years old, "Did you have a nice weekend, Sam?" From the entire question, Sam picked up the word weekend, but he did not know how to structure his answer. So instead, he repeated my question back to me. The correct approach is to start with simple yes or no questions. I showed him a picture of a beach and asked him, "Sam, did you go to the beach?" and suddenly got his attention, and he nodded his head. I repeated my question and encouraged him by saying, "You can use your words, Sam." And after a few attempts, he responded by saying, "Yes, beach." If a child does not respond verbally, prompt him with "use your words" or "you can say yes." Once the child can answer basic yes or no questions verbally, move to basic what questions, like what is this? What is he doing? Again, use highly motivating pictures or objects at first to pique their interest. Use the same method of prompting for verbal responses as I have mentioned before. However, some children simply aren't able to talk right now, but that does not mean that we give up on them and don't provide them with an alternative. For these children with autism, there's another option, AAC or Augmentative Alternate Communication Method. It's in any means of communication aside from traditional speech that allows children to use language. This can include using pictures, gestures, sign language, visual aids, or special output devices like computers. But before I talk about these methods, it is important to remember that each child with autism is unique. Even with tremendous effort, a strategy that works well with one child may not work with another. And even though every child with autism can learn to communicate, it's not always through spoken language. Non-verbal individuals with autism has much to contribute to society and can live fulfilling lives through visual support and assistive technologies. So let's begin with gestures and eye contact. Gesture and eye contact can build a foundation for language. You can encourage your child by modeling, responding these behaviors. Exaggerate your gestures. Use both your body and your voice whilst communicating. For instance, Sarah, who is 5 years old, uses gestures and sounds to communicate. If she wants to show me something, she takes my finger and points towards the thing. Slowly and gradually, I started extending my hand to point out when I am saying, "Look," and nodding my head when I say yes. Since every child is unique, it is important to adapt the way we communicate with them. In my opinion, each child on the spectrum differs in the ability to understand what is said to them. So it is important that we consider the individual needs and preferences and modify our language. Sometimes I use sign language where the child forms signs with their hands and convey meaning. These signs are used by the child as well as by the adults who are communicating with the child. For instance, I use Makaton, which is a unique language program that uses symbols, signs, and speech to support children to communicate. With Makaton, signs are used with speech in spoken word order. This helps provide extra clues about what someone is saying. Here, let me introduce you to a few signs. For instance, food. Tap once on the side of your mouth and say food. And remember to say the word as you're doing the sign. Food. Help. Raise your hand slightly. Help. Keep repeating it until the child associates the sign with it. I need toilet. I need toilet. If you need more information of Macanton, you can email me and I can provide you with further details. It's very simple. Next is picture board or a schedule board, which you can easily make with your child at home. Make sure to involve them as much as you can in any activity you are preparing for them. The child is given a simple board with selection of pictures. The child touches the picture that represent what he wants or what he would like to do that day. These were just a few methods to facilitate non-verbal communication. You can provide visual cues, storyboards, visual timetables. Another method which can be used is PECS, Picture Exchange Communication System. Since every child is different, it is important to preface the correct method accordingly. I have observed that it is difficult for children with ASD to form recognizable patterns of what they hear in the surrounding. It takes time for them to interpret verbal information. So it is vital to use simple phrases, words, and pause in order to give the child time to grasp. For instance, George, who is 5 years old, wanted to go out and play in the garden. Since I was occupied with another child, I asked him to wait for a minute. George stood there and watched the minute sign timer until it finished. It was difficult for him to interpret that I wanted him to wait until I finished what I was doing. In my opinion, it is important to keep the language simple. I generally use simple sentences without complicating the language. Instead of saying, tidy up the room, then we will go to the garden, I usually say, tidy up, then garden. Always remember to give them time to process after giving instructions and try to keep your language positive. For instance, instead of saying, no running in the room, where your sentence is starting with a negative notion, you can say walking and marching or walking feet in the room. Another key is to avoid questions when you are giving the child instructions. For instance, it is better to say, computer time is over, instead of asking, have you finished playing on the computer? Children with autism have a unique set of skills, strengths and talents. And if they can't learn the way we teach the way they learn. Thank you for taking out the time to watch my video. Don't forget to subscribe. You're welcome to ask any question related to autism. My links are in the description box below. Feel free to write your comments. So for now, cheers, and we will catch up in my next video.